Destoroyah, the Godzilla killer, has been confirmed for Godzilla X Kong sequel. I am so happy, you guys don't even understand. If Godzilla thought Shimu and Scar King were a problem, Godzilla is gonna be hating this. Today we're gonna be watching a video from DangerVille shedding more light into this confirmed news. Like, subscribe, and let's get on with this. You guys don't even know how happy I am.
The Skull Crawler, the Devil with 3 heads, Mechagodzilla, the Iron Dragon, Kraken, and now the menacing Scar King.
Shimu.
All these villains have left a lasting impression on the franchise,
an amazing impression,
and will be remembered for being titanic threats to the Alpha Titans and the world. So now Godzilla Kong the New Empire is out, and we know all about the latest villainous titans of the MonsterVerse. Now it's time to look into the future, because I assure you, Wingard is sat down with Legendary right now discussing the next film. And the thing that's on everyone's mind is, who's going to be the next villain? Is it Space Godzilla? Or perhaps Destoroyah? Biolante? Or something new altogether? Now, believe it or not, Adam Wingard has already been giving us hints as to what or who we might see leading into the Godzilla X Kong sequel. And not only this, but the novelization has been giving clues that it could lead to a full-on invasion. Following the epic clash of titans in the New Empire, the MonsterVerse has been ignited with excitement. Fans are eager to know what titans they might see, whether new or old. But what's next? Who will challenge these colossal icons in the sequel? The universe is just teeming with potential adversaries. But who could possibly pose a threat worthy of challenging both Godzilla and Kong? Well, let's see what Adam Wingard has to say. I'll say this, one of my top Godzilla movies is Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. The reason it's one of my favorite films is I don't think any other Godzilla movie, maybe outside of Godzilla -1 and the 1954 original, has ever hit such emotional highs. The ending of that film, when Godzilla Jr. dies and subsequently Godzilla melts to death, is so poignant and also beautiful in the way that they do it. Now, of course, everyone immediately thinks, Destoroyah, it has to be Destoroyah.
It has to be,
and
the Godzilla
he
killer.
Goes on to say this, but that's the thing for me. If I was going to do another one of these films, I would want it to hit that kind of emotional resonance with Godzilla as a character this time. That's what I'll say for now. On top of the news that he wants the New Empire sequel to focus much more on the King of the Monsters, getting to know him better and unravel his mysteries, it sounds like we may be in for a gut punch of a film. So Destoroyah would be a pretty good bet if Legendary wants to shell out the money for licensing. But how could Destoroyah fit into the
whatever research I've done, it's pretty confirmed
Destoroyah could be introduced as a byproduct of humanity's continued interference with nature, echoing themes of environmental destruction and the consequences of our actions. Following the use of the Oxygen Destroyer against Ghidorah, humanity's only gone and created their own new monster that is even worse than the Devil with 3 heads, serving as a compelling exploration of Godzilla's character arc, as a creature born in the same destructive force that once threatened his existence. Destoroyah could serve as a dark mirror to Godzilla,
I've done my research,
it's confirmed, the consequences of his own power and the legacy he leaves behind.
I'm gonna be done with that.
And as we know, a huge part of Godzilla vs. Destoroyah was Godzilla melting down by absorbing too much energy and needing to be frozen to stop a world-ending explosion from his biological nuclear reactor. Well, in the New Empire, we've seen Godzilla power up to new heights, absorbing more radiation than ever before. And of course, we've discovered a new Titan with the ability to freeze targets on sight. So, could we see Godzilla melting down in the next film? And Shimu has to come in and stop it with her frost powers.
But we don't know much about Destoroyah.
All coming together a bit
we know a lot about
Destoroyah. But in terms of other possibilities,
we haven't seen him in that many movies.
Relative to Godzilla,
how much has he evolved since
quite some time now. There has been teasers for this monster since 2021, with the mural on the wall of Kong's Hollow Earth Temple showing a member of Godzilla's species flying above, setting the area ablaze with its atomic breath. glowing a different color to the rest of the Titans, signifying that this one doesn't belong and is an abomination. If Space Godzilla comes to mind, then you might be right, although it might not come from space, but instead the Hollow Earth, a creature mutated from a sheer abundance of resources, radiation at the core of the planet. That may be what this mural is representing, something of this world, but not of the natural order. This could be a way to force Godzilla to face the darkest version of himself. What happens when you become mad with power? A theme that I'd argue is becoming more and more prevalent since King of the Monsters, as he's only become more of a ruthless ruler, killing without warning, without mercy.
Scylla, R.I.P.
Space Godzilla was one of my favorite characters to play as in Save the Earth, so I'd love to see this kaiju make an appearance in the MonsterVerse as a power-mad titan hidden in the underworld. But in my eyes, this is the least likely of the current theories to happen, but there is one other villain that has solid evidence backing it up. Taking a look at the Godzilla Kong novelization, we're actually presented with something really interesting. The fact that humanity could be the ones challenging the Titans and taking the war from the surface to the Hollow Earth itself.
You can tell the humans,
towards the end of the book, after the Battle of Rio has taken place and Kong, Shimo and Suko have returned to the Hollow Earth, the government remains uneasy with the situation, unsure what their fate may be with the so-called Monster H, as Shimo's called. Monarch is already in deep trouble after using Project Powerhouse on Kong, a plan that was meant to be scrapped due to the issues regarding giving powerful titans even more power. In regards to Shimo, if politicians and pundits and bloviators thought Godzilla was a threat, what would they think about a real world ender, since Shimo caused the Ice Age? In Director Hampton's words, it could be all the special interest needed to call for a takeover of the Hollow Earth.
They're definitely going to take
Tensions
the kaijus
are high
out,
across the world.
Attempt.
The Italian government was angry Godzilla caused such a mess in Rome, despite him saving the city from Scylla.
That's his
over
backyard.
In Egypt and Brazil, they are also unhappy with the sheer carnage that's taken place, wiping historic landmarks off the map. A human invasion of the Hollow Earth is also briefly foreshadowed when Dr. Andrews stated that the government is looking for an excuse to take over Hollow Earth operations, and that the wolves are already at their door.
The government's plan
Mikhail responds sarcastically
they wanted to take
because
out
who wants to be
everything,
rich and get rid of all the monsters? I mean, that'd be terrible, right? And with the graphic novel that released alongside the film, Godzilla Kong the Hunted, that follows a group of Titan hunters, it's becoming increasingly clear that people aren't willing to live alongside the Titans, and would rather get rid of them without realizing the harm that would do to the balance of the planet's ecosystem.
In reality,
like Godzilla
if these kaijus were around,
keep the natural order in check,
every human
and without
would want
him,
them out
the planet
and gone.
would crumble.
As much as we love kaijus right
San
now,
Francisco,
it would be a different
Washington,
world.
Hong Kong, Rome, Cairo, Rio, and many more heavily populated areas. At least, what was once populated. It seems like the government is closing in on Monarch, something they've been trying to do since the 50s. So instead of researching the Titans, they may launch a full-scale invasion to try and kill them off. Full-on imperialistic Avatar style. Instead of the MonsterVerse resorting to alien invasions, we may see humanity, adorned with its new fancy tech, invading this almost alien world in hopes of colonizing it and taking its resources. As Trapper said, these undocumented tribes don't last long when exposed to the wider world, so humanity becoming an active threat seems increasingly likely. Which, honestly, I'd be all for. We've needed some more Goji versus humanity action. It's all adding up.
That's gonna be insane. In the sequel, again, for example, with all these modern day technology we have, trying to take these kaijus out, how deadly would that be? You can see the animation, that everything in that movie is gonna be amazing.
Who well for it to not happen? Adam Wingard has stated that hints towards the next potential sequel has been placed all around the new empire and subsequently its novelization. It seems to me what the most likely villain for the Godzilla Kong sequel will be humanity itself, pushed to the extreme, retaliating against the Titans and bringing the war to their homeworld. It could lead to a battle of cataclysmic proportions where hundreds of warships make their way down through the portals, wiping out all life in the Hollow Earth. And as Wingard has stated, that he wants to recreate the emotions felt with Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, so there may be a chance the King of the Monsters sacrifices himself in a gut-wrenching scene, ending his life for the lives of the rest in typical kingly fashion.
So if you've done your research, you will find absolutely nothing confirming for sure 100% Destoroyah coming into MonsterVerse. But the chances of Destoroyah coming into the MonsterVerse as the next villain in the next sequel, the highest. Like, subscribe, and I hope to see you soon.